Hi, I am Alex from the Ada Community Library, and this is my Storytime partner, Cruisin'. And thank you for joining us today. We have a special story time about honeybees, and we're gonna read this book called Honeybee: The Busy Life of Apis mellifera by Candace Fleming and Eric Roman. A brand new honeybee squirms, pushes, chews through the wax cap of her solitary cell and into a teeming, trembling flurry. Honeybee. Tongues lick, antennae touch, bodies clamber and scramble over thin wax comb. The new bee rests, soft, fuzzy, and female like all the newly emerged worker bees. Her scientific name is Apis mellifera, or Apis for short. Crawling into a cell packed with sticky, rich pollen, Apis eats and eats and eats some more. Her wings dry, her color darkens to a warm yellow-orange. Her muscles grow strong. Strong enough for flying? Not yet. Cleaning comes first. Apis's first job is to tidy the hive's nursery. She hauls away leftover bits, carts off old wax caps, leaves each cell ready for a new bee egg. When she turns 3 days old, special glands behind her face swell and expand. Soon she is ready for her next job. Is it flying? Not yet. Nursing. The grub-like larvae get all of her attention. She checks them, inspects them, feeds them a milky, sweet liquid made with those glands. On Apis's 8th day of life, she leaves the nursery. For flying? Not yet. Queen tending. Long and graceful, the queen glides across the combs. 2,000 times a day. 2,000 times a day? The queen stops to drop a single egg into a single cell. Pearly white, half the size of a grain of rice. Each will grow into a bee. The queen doesn't have time to take care of herself, so Apis and the others groom her with their forelegs, examine her with their tongues, feed her a drop of sweet brood food, work her mouth to queen mouth. As they do, they pick up the queen's scent with their antennae, legs, tongues. They pass this scent along to the rest of the nest, a message that the queen is healthy and safe. When Apis turns 12 days old, glands in her abdomen begin making flakes of white wax. It's time for her new job. Flying? Not yet. Comb building. Using her wax, her sharp spoon-shaped jaws, and her legs, she shapes, molds, maneuvers to create cells. But Apis is not a builder for long. 3 days later, she starts flying. Not yet. Food handling. Apis stands on soft honeycomb, waiting. A forager bee approaches, dusted with pollen and smelling of sunshine and fresh air. She is loaded with nectar. Food for the colony. Apis creeps toward her, furry heads bump, and the forager brings up the nectar into her open mouth. Sticking out her straw-like tongue, Apis sips up the nectar. She folds and unfolds, folds and unfolds, folds and unfolds her mouth until the nectar grows thicker, stickier. She stores the half-dried nectar in an empty cell. Over the next few days, it will ripen into honey. That is how honey is made. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
When Apis turns 18 days old, she is ready to start her life outside. Flying? Not yet. Still not yet. Guarding against birds or bears and bees from other nests. Patrolling a tiny patch by the hive's entrance, Apis sniffs each incoming worker with her antennae. Friend or foe? 2 bees hover nearby. Apis bends her antennae toward them and tests the air. They do not smell like members of her colony. She stands on her hind legs. They do not act like colony members. Apis lets off an alarm scent. Warn the others. Robber bees! They've come to steal honey from the nest. Apis flings herself at one of them. The 2 grab hold of each other's legs. They curl their abdomens. They roll and grapple. Apis buzzes, bites, burrows. She is willing to give up her life to protect her nest and its honey. She bites harder, shaking her off. The robber flies away. At last, on the 25th day of her life, with the sun just rising and the dew still drying, she leaps from the nest and flies. Finally, she gets to go out and use her wings to fly. Look at all those flowers. That looks like a great place for a honeybee hive. Thousands of other bees rise from the nest too, first to orient themselves and then to forage for water or collect sticky plant sap called propolis, a kind of bee glue, or gather pollen. And Apis, she is in search of sweet nectar. Her antennae taste the breeze, milkweed, coneflower, clover. She can smell the sugary goodness inside their blossoms. Apis follows the floral odor for miles, wings beating 200 times a second, until she circles down. She alights on a blossom. She scrabbles over its petals, searching for nectar inside. Poking her long tongue deep inside the flower, she sips and swallows and skips to the next flower. The sugary fluid does not go into her belly. It goes into a special sac called a honey stomach. This is how Apis will carry her nectar home as she visits each flower. Grains of pollen stick to her brushy body. They cling to her bristly legs. She carries this pollen from flower to flower, brushing it off, picking it up, pollinating the field. At last, her honey stomach weighs almost as much as she does. Then, wings working hard, she flies back to the hive where she gives up her nectar to a food handler. Now will she rest? No, she will dance, wagging her tail. Apis circles to the left, then to the right. She runs in a long straight line. Other bees gather around. They listen to the vibrations of her dance. Apis is giving directions. She is telling them the nectar is sweet. She is asking them to go there too. Soon a stream of bees head for her find. Apis makes 9 more trips that day, gathering, pollinating before the sun finally sets and she can rest. But she will go back tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. She grows thinner and slower. She loses her hair. Her wings fray and tatter. Summertime bees do not live long, and Apis is now 35 days old. She has flown back and forth between nest and blossoms, 500 miles in all. She has visited 30,000 flowers. She has collected enough nectar to make 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. That's not very much. Her work is done. On the morning, Apis drops to the ground. The air is warm, the sun is rising, and the nectar is sweet. She rolls onto her back. Her legs move limply. Her wings beat weakly. Above her, blossoms nod in the summer breeze. Apis stills. And back in the nest, a brand new honeybee squirms, pushes, chews through the wax cap of her solitary cell and into a teeming, trembling flurry.
Is the honey stomach?
That is the that's where pollen is stored on its legs. The honey stomach is inside of the body. All right, that's the end of that story. We have a special field trip, and we are going to visit a honeybee hive right here on our property. And you'll get a special view inside of the hive. You'll get to see the inside of our honeybee hive. Let's go. I'm here with JB from Boise Bees, and we are just opening the hive to see what's going on in there. This is a hive of European honeybees, and they are busy visiting flowers around our property, and they'll fly as far as a mile. Is that right, JB?
A mile or more.
A mile or more to find flowers to bring nectar back to their hive. Nectar and pollen to feed the colony. So what are we doing today, JB?
Today we're giving them more room to grow, and actually this is so that now they'll start making honey. They've built a beautiful colony that's full and healthy. The queen's laying lots of eggs. They'll grow into more bees. And now we're going to give them space to get us some honey. All the honey, they're going to put honey in the rest of these, but we're going to leave that for them to survive the winter time.
Sure, yeah, they want to eat too.
Yeah, so that way they'll stay warm in the winter.
Okay, here's the hive entrance. You can see the bees coming and going. And they are busy all day long, leaving to find flowers and coming back with nectar and pollen. Wow, what a cool thing. Thanks for joining us for Storytime today. I hope you enjoyed learning about bees. They're so interesting and so important for all of us. We would not have vegetables and grains and bread and just about any food without pollinating insects like bees. So go out to your yard or a place where there are flowers near your house and look for bees, but be careful, don't touch them. They can sting. Thanks for joining us. It was a pleasure reading to you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Are we gonna